Hey there, my name is Marcy Barbaro, and I'm the owner of Calm Center for Yoga and Meditation in Alcona, in Innisfil. So I thought tonight I would show a restorative practice. In a restorative yoga practice, we don't stand up, and this is for rest. If you think about it, we're going and rushing all the time, and we have stress all the time, and therefore we have adrenaline. I'm pointing to your adrenal glands, which are about the size of the heads of erasers, and they sit on top of your kidneys, and they dump adrenaline into your body all day, and that makes us fast and sharp and strong. But unfortunately, what it also does is it shuts down some other systems in our body, like our digestion and elimination, and sometimes our immune system, or actually I don't say sometimes, what I mean to say is there's evidence that shows that it could possibly shut down your immune system too. And of course, if you've ever heard of the hormone cortisol, that is something else that is dumped into our body continuously when we're in a state of high stress. And that has a little bit of a wear and tear effect on our bodies. So the restorative practice that I'm going to show you, which will be about 30 minutes long, brings that to a hard stop. If we don't stop rushing and don't stop being in fight or flight, then this adrenaline cortisol dumping into our system will be continuous. Some is good, it's got a real function, but continuously is not healthy. And there's tons of evidence out there that says it can lead to disease. So I don't tell you that to scare you. I tell you that so you know that this is really easy and this is something you can do. So I'm on my yoga mat, but I've covered it with a blanket because, as I say, I'm going to be laying down. Just turn down my music a bit here, have it on for me. Now, I have several blankets, and so you are going to need blankets, or if you have really thick bath towels, grab 2 or 3 of those, and all I've done is I folded them kind of in like 3 in thirds, so I can get this nice little shelf. A cushion from your couch, or 2 or 3 is a great idea. Throw cushions are wonderful. And then I have something that I'll be using called a round bolster, and I probably would be using a flat bolster too if I remember to grab it. So the other thing that's really helpful in a restorative practice is some kind of cover for your eyes. So you've seen those little eye pillows that are filled with lavender, great idea. If not, a washcloth folded in half or folded in thirds will work too. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do with our practice here, I want you to find some way to sit comfortably. So if you wanted to, you could take a couple of your blankets. I'm sure you paused this and ran around the house when you got cushions off the couch and things like that, so you could participate in this practice. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is find something to sit on. Oh, by the way, I'm deliberately wearing my pajama pants to show that you don't need athletic clothes to do this. If we have anything too baggy, it's going to get wrapped up and uncomfortable, but lounge pants, pajama pants, flannel pants, those are great for this kind of practice, whatever you're comfortable in. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a pillow. We're just going to hold it in our hands. This is a nice shoulder warm up. Inhale up and exhale down. And we're going to do that about 5 times. Inhale. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale up. Exhale down. So if you want, you can breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. 1 more. Good. Okay, hold the pillow in the air and add a little side bend here and come back up. We're going to bend to the same side 5 times. So tonight's little mini practice that I designed for you are to release stuck energy in the shoulders, the chest, and the upper back. Okay, let's bring that down because we need to give the arms a break. And you know what's a really great idea? Is if you can bring that behind you. Okay, so just holding on behind you, you might be able to raise it up a bit. Some people can't raise it up at all. So don't stress if you're one of those people, please. Remember, we're trying to release stress. So bring that up. One more. That just opens up the chest. Good, you might have noticed that feeling of pulling across here. We want that. Okay, overhead. And we're going to be leaning to the other side now. Nice side bend. And the reason we hold on to this pillow is to keep our shoulders in alignment. Good. Just one more. Awesome. Let's bring that down. Okay, so settling into our first pose. So you're going to need one of your thick blankets or one of your bath towels. So I'm just going to put my other blankets to the side. Good. All we need is one blanket. Okay, so we're going to make a roll out of this. So I'm just going to kind of unroll that. And then we want to make like a little jelly roll here. Roll this guy up. And depending on the size of what you're working with, you might end up having lots off the top. We don't want it too high because we're going to be laying on that and it's going to come behind the heart. So how do I locate behind the heart? So for ladies, it's kind of where the bra strap is. But you could also do this, bring your fingertips right to the center of your chest and then pull them out to the side. And when you lay down, that's kind of where we want this blanket to be. Okay, so coming down. And if you are having struggles moving, go on your side, roll onto your back. And then remember, we want to kind of landmark with the fingers in the center of the chest, pull them out to the side, and that's where we want the blanket to be. So you're going to notice like your chest is really popped up. Now, we could leave the knees up, maybe even rest the knees against each other and bring the arms out to the side. Or why don't we see how you feel about extending your legs? Discomfort, ouchies, that is the stuff we need to listen to. So I actually feel okay here. If I had this really thick, probably would bother me. I've let my ankles and feet drop open and relax. And then I've got my arms down by my sides or out to the sides, but down a bit. Sort of up here isn't really that comfortable for me. So I'm bringing them down. Play with where you'd like your arms to be. Now, if you happen to have that eye cover, face cloth handy, place it across the eyes. And then just stay here and breathe. If you don't have anything to cover your eyes and you're comfortable with the eyes closed, go ahead and do that. And if you'd rather keep your eyes open, I want you to have a really soft gaze. So you don't have to count, marks on the ceiling or anything, just eyes kind of at half mast. Allow the breath to happen. And so just allowing some of the tension in your upper back to let go here. Keeping your eyes closed or soft. Let's do 3 more. Nice big breaths here. Okay, listening carefully how to come out, because we've got these chest muscles opened, and we just want to be gentle. Bend your knees, put your feet down, and I know you can jump up this way, but we're not going to do that. We're going to roll to the side, keep going, and slowly press yourself up. Okay, so that's the first one. Okay, now what we're going to do, and I think you'll find this quite pleasant, is undo your roll and go back to folding your towel or your blanket into thirds. Okay, and now we're going to run that lengthwise on the mat. The bum is going to be down here, and your spine and your head is going to be here. So this is another chest and shoulder opener. Now you might want to be right up against, or you might want a little gap. You're going to know in a minute. Laying down there. Again, extending the legs. Find a comfortable position for the arms. Now this one here is a little bit softer, but we're also encompassing more area in the front body opener. So we're kind of going from lower back or lumbar spine all the way up to the back of the shoulders, back of the head, and then we're opening the front body. Again, covering your eyes, closing your eyes, and just bring your awareness to your breathing. So notice if you're breathing in and out of the mouth. Notice if you're breathing in and out of the nose. If you keep switching it up. The breaths that we take are like waves in the ocean, the lake, or the bay, and that there's no two the same. You know, so don't worry if you've got a short, choppy breath, and then you've got this big, long, beautiful inhale, long exhale, but you can't sustain that. Don't worry. Find your place here on the mat. Enjoy the restorative practice. Isn't that nice? Ooh. So if you find any of these poses are your favorite, you can always come back to the video to see how to set it up. But one pose held for 10, 12 minutes will have a huge effect on your health daily. So let's come out, and again, same way, bending the knees, putting the feet down, and rolling to the side. And you can even rest here for a minute. When I teach an hour-long class, we would stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. But because I'm trying to be efficient with our time and do a shorter video, I'm going to ask you to push up again. Okay, this time we're going to take this blanket that's here, and fold it in half again. So now it's kind of pretty high. Or if you have a nice big throw cushion, go ahead and grab that. Now we're going to make a little ramp here. So we're going to take the other blankets that we have, or a cushion from your couch. Well, this one kind of came undone, so I'll just fix that. We're setting up for what's called child's pose. So if you know it, just want to make kind of like a ramp like this to rest on. This may not be enough for me. I might need to use my throw cushion too. So once we have a little ramp with some good height, we're going to open the knees, come in nice and tight, and then turn the head to one side and lower down. I need more height. So I'm going to take this guy and I'm also going to put that under. That's not bad. I haven't quite got it positioned right where I want it. So I'm just going to play with my props. And since we've been doing this practice at home, I've been encouraging everybody to just figure it out, try things. Okay, so here we are nice and snug with the knees. I've pulled that right inside. Oh, there we go. That feels nice. And turn the head to one side. Arms can be outstretched. They can be tucked in. And the eyes close. So child's pose is a wonderful pose because we have the back protecting us, the spine, the rib cage, sort of a nice turtle shell to the world. And then hopefully we have enough height under us that we feel supported. I'm just going to go ahead and turn my head the other way just so you can get a good look, if you need to, at what this pose looks like. Now your buttocks might not settle down by your heels like that. You might be up more like this. You just want to adjust your props accordingly. Maybe bring your knees in a little more. We still have the pose. It just looks different on some people. Okay, let's give this a few more breaths. I want to try to respect your time. Again, I mentioned that even one of these poses held for about 15 minutes will have a huge difference in how you feel, your stress level, and with regular practice, it can even improve your sleep. So it's definitely worth giving it a try. All right, so sliding those elbows and hands beside your knees. Gently coming up. Okay, we're going to keep this setup the way it is, but we're going to bring one hip only to the base of this. So the knees are side by side. So you could theoretically take a blanket here and run it between the knees and the ankles That way we don't have any rubbing of the ankles, and it also keeps our hips stacked nicely. So I've got my little setup here, hands on either side, and you're gonna lay down on the ribs on one side. So it's slightly different than what we just did because the knees are over. We call this belly down twist or belly down rotation here. This is a nice, gentle rotation of your spine. It opens up the back of the shoulders, across the back of the heart, the lower back, the hips. Okay, we'll do about 2 more breaths here. And then we want to rise up and we want to go right to the same pose on the other side. So you can hang on to that blanket between your knees. Switch over, opposite hip at the base. And in this manner, you're going to get a good view of what my spine is doing, so you'll understand what's happening with you. Hands on either side, lowering onto the opposite side ribs, and resting. Notice how I'm kind of shifting my hips around here. I want you to do that too, so that you're comfortable. We never want to stay in the pose if it's not comfortable. Now there's lots of little things you can do to make it more comfortable. So keep moving the head, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the legs, the hip, until you land in a spot in such a way that you feel instantly like you could fall asleep. All right, pressing into the hands and the elbows gently to rise up. And now we come to our final pose, which we call Shavasana, which is the long rest pose. Usually in an hour-long class, we would spend 15 minutes here. We're gonna do 5, just to keep this class on time. All right, so we need to take some of these things out of here. So a low pillow would work under the head, or a low folded blanket, meaning I don't want a lot of height. Okay, that's good. Now, we want something behind the legs or under the calves. So I'm going to demonstrate with these 2 folded blankets under the calves. And when I elevate my calves like that, then the lower back really rests down. So that feels pretty good. And then you're going to reach for another blanket and you're going to bring it across your belly or your hips or unfold it and cover your whole body. And you know what I'm going to say next? Cover your eyes. And then just allow yourself to settle into this pose. Where would you like the hands? A lot of people will say flip the palms up. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Could be palms down, could be hands underneath the blanket. I was crossing or clasping my fingers there. That felt really good. My elbows are down and again, letting the ankles flop open. We want the pillow behind the skull, not behind the neck. So the back of the head is resting on there. There's actually like some freedom in and around the neck, as opposed to pulling that right up against our shoulders and creating more compression in the neck. So just bring that to the back of the head. Allow the neck to be free. Good. And again, why don't you pay attention to your breath coming in, hopefully coming in through your nose. And then breathing out through your nose. Finishing up with this breath here. And again, you could spend 15, 20 minutes in this pose if you're comfortable. Allow me to talk you out of this pose. Keep your spine safe. You're gonna bend your knees and take your feet to your blankets or your towels or your cushions, whatever's behind the legs. And then you're gonna roll to your side. Resting here. So this resting on the side has two functions. One, it allows the spine to relax after all the twisting and opening that we did in the last 30 minutes. And it also regulates your blood pressure. So we're going to very slowly come back up onto the mat. And you can land on the mat any way that you want. And we usually close a yoga practice with the word namaste. And the word namaste means I see the divine in you, or the light in you, and you see the light in me. It's a beautiful ceremonial word that just closes what you just did for yourself here. So hands to the heart. Namaste. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the class. If you want to reach out to me, the easiest way to find me is on my website, calmcenter.ca. I'm Marcy Barbaro, and I'll see you again. Thank you.